we're not talking about the giant lanky guy that danced around like a guy with bare feet on a hot tin roof and that. The lead singer, who everyone sees, Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
I've been watching some reaction videos from America.
Yeah.
I was watching an African American young couple, who've been raised on hip hop and things like that. And so they play some songs, and people sent in. They say, "Oh, you should take a look at this group."
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, we've been told about an Australian group. Then they're called Midnight Oil. Might have heard the name, but we've never seen them. So this will be the first time they see it. They put it on for the first time. They put the video on.
Yeah.
And there's this guy about 6'8" or something, bald, white guy, leaping about like someone's put a cattle prod, on him and stuff. And they can't believe what they're seeing,
Well, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was the most exciting start to a concert I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In 1983 or what it was.
I was disappointed to find out that he was the brains of the outfit.
Yeah.
Because
heretofore,
when I've always watched Midnight Oil, because it took me it cost me 2 decades of my life where I could have been enjoying Midnight Oil, and I could have gone and seen them. When I went and saw Midnight Oil a few years ago in the Domain in Sydney, it was a letdown to me.
Okay.
Because too much water's gone under the bridge. Peter Garrett has been a parliamentarian. He's been in politics. I've seen him in a suit coming out arguing with other politicians. And that to me has taken away something special about him. I want to think of him out there leaping around, that somewhere, even if he's not on stage, he's somewhere in a pub leaping around like a madman, to entertain just his friends or something like that. I don't want to see him turn up in an expensive suit in Parliament. Because the other thing is that also, this is where dreams meet reality, so I like to, when I started to enjoy their music, which was too late because they're already old, so I'm only now rely on looking at videos of them in their heyday. When I saw him out live, I could almost debate if he was alive. I was tempted to send up a medic to take a pulse or something.
Oh, okay.
Because this old bald guy, which is all right to be old and bald, but I mean, he's been like that since the year dot. Because it took me a while to work out that his hair wasn't made of cloth. I mean, when I first saw him, I said, "Why is this guy jumping around?" Well, I didn't know it was a bandana because we didn't have streaming TV back then.
Okay.
So sometimes I'd wake up, or I might be up watching a show called Rage, and I'd wake up in my chair and, this is good music, and that, and then I'd see this guy leaping around, and I thought, well, how come his hair's made of tea towels and stuff? And then I realised that that's not his hair. He's affected cloth hanging off him, so that when he leaps around, instead of globules of sweat flying off in all directions off of a chrome dome, it's an appearance. I'm looking at him now on your board and seeing that it looks like from a distance that he's leaping around and the hair's flying in all directions like, Wizard or something, like the group Wizard had a giant guy with head hair was going in all directions. And this guy doesn't have any hair. So he's affected the impact of things flying around. So it's all about movement. So for me, Midnight Oil is first of all, a very high quality music. Musos. So I don't even know the names of the guys. And that's probably good. They're that good that I don't need to say, that's so-and-so that came across from that group and blah, blah, blah. You don't want to get involved in that. You're watching some music. First of all, it's good music. If it's rubbish music, I don't care what the message is. So I like hardcore rock and roll by experts who got the beat that makes your feet are tapping, you're punching the air, so first of all, how come I really haven't gone into these guys? Part of it was because there wasn't a venue. There wasn't a vehicle till the Rage and some of those shows because we didn't have the internet. So if you weren't into that group, you hadn't gone to any live concerts. They weren't necessarily hit records.
Yeah.
Some of these groups are more album oriented or more live oriented. So I didn't know much about them. I knew they did a thing, US forces. I thought, no, not that again.
Yeah.
Like, let's all bash the US Army, as if that hasn't been done already,
Yeah.
Here we go, blah, blah, blah. And then he had a song, and he'd be saying, give them land back. These guys are burning in their beds. And you've taken their land and you burnt them in their beds and everything like that.
Bloody hell.
And I think, wow, this bald guy's going, like he looks like he could go in and literally find the people who had put these guys in there and set fire to their beds and stolen all their land.
Yeah.
And he could go in and literally physically grab these horrible people out and throw them into the sea to swim back to where they came from. Because he said, it belongs to them.
Yeah.
How deep? Belongs to them. We've got to give it back.
Yeah.
And so I'd be saying, right, and I visualise this guy singing this from the deck of a ship as him and his band sail back to the old country, giving back the land to the indigenous, right?
See, I thought you were going to say, I imagine this guy, bloody actually using the Midnight Oil and writing down these lyrics, and he.
I haven't got to that yet.
But it turns out he didn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I know.
It was freaking Rob Hirst who wrote that.
Well, that's
song.
what you've disappointed me. You've taken the wind out of my sails by what you told me.
Yeah, okay.
Because I just was so driven by this guy's passion.
Yeah.
And he's even singing the song "The Power and the Passion," and he's got passion.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's got power.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be a bouncer.
Yeah, he could be.
If he wasn't a singer.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, I don't necessarily, like there's a saying, I may not agree with what you say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily, back in those era,
Yeah.
I probably would say I leaned a bit to the right. Now I'm not. Now I'm middle of the road. And so I thought, well, why do I want to listen to some communist telling me about, some commo, some pinko lefty? I'm not going to listen to him preaching to me.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I outgrew that.
Okay.
And I thought, I don't care what he's singing about.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
You respect the energy, what he brings to the table.
I mean, this guy could have, he could end up in in some files, he released 3 million pages of files, and they just say, oh, this guy's in these files.
Yeah.
With some horrible, disreputable bloke, and there's about 3 million emails. That wouldn't stop me from liking the guy's body of work.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I'm going to go and start hanging out with him in the pub.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to some music, right?
Well,
so this is the whole thing about him. And I thought, where does he get the ideas? I mean, this guy, he lives the ideas. Is that sort of working?
No, that's someone's.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I have to admire the guy.
Yep.
Because he's poured his heart out. He sat in a dark room.
Yeah.
And he's poured his heart out. Oh, yours is off, is it?
No,
that's right. Yeah. He's poured his heart out with pen and paper.
Yeah.
And written these words. Elton John said it's hard to write a song with bitter fingers.
Yeah.
So you can see him in there, literally probably breaking the pens. He probably needed 20 pens.
Yeah.
Writing this thing. Oh, how dare you take the land, you mongrels, and US forces came in and bombed them, and could you give them a go? Give these guys a go.
Yeah.
Stop sort of taking their land. Stop coming and strip mining. Logging their rainforest. They protected the rainforest for 2 million years while there was no other colonists here. They protected the forests. They protected the marsupials in there. Beds they didn't have a bed, so they couldn't burn in their beds. They sleep on the ground. So there's no beds to burn. There was power. There was passion in the corroborees. They had all this stuff going, and he's written all this stuff. And he goes, I can't wait to get. Okay, when I get to that bit, it belongs to them. That's brilliant. He probably underline that bit. It belongs to them, right? And then he's thinking all that stuff. And now you tell me, about a week ago, or no, days ago, you tell me that
Robbie
he
Hirst.
didn't write it.
No.
He didn't write it. He's just a meat puppet.
Yeah.
Like all he is like mouthing the words that some other guy wrote.
Yeah, or he could have something in his ear, and the drummer is actually feeding him the lines to say.
Is that why when what you mean, like say like an NFL player? So behind the scenes, there's a guy with a thing here covering his mouth.
Yeah, well, what you don't think, just do.
Because we used to know a guy who had what they call a hearing loss, and so so I've gone to be entertained.
Yeah,
and so. If we went with our friend, who's literally has a super strength. This friend of ours from an old colleague, he has like a super strength that because his ears weren't like as efficient as other people's.
Yeah,
he developed the power of sight better than ours, and he could literally read lips.
Yes.
So if he came to a concert with us. It's hard to work out why he'd come to the concert, but anyway, if he came to the concert with us, right, he would say, while the big guys leaping around and talking about, how can you sleep? Yeah. How could you even sleep while the beds are burning? That'd be pretty off the wing. Not only have you set fire to their beds, then you go off and have a good sleep while their beds are burning. But anyway, and he'd be sort of saying, but what I noticed, Kevin, is while he's singing that, I've been looking at the drummer, and he's mouthing the words. He's actually mouthing the words as if they're his. He's not singing because he must have a crap voice.
No, he's got a great voice.
Oh, has he?
Got a backing voice. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, but I can see his mouth moving. And I realise they are his words coming out of the big guy.
Yeah,
they're his words.
Did you use the word meat puppet?
I might have.
That's not right. But no, I was going to say, this is supposed to be a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be forgiven for thinking that we're actually bashing Midnight Oil and Rockers.
No, well, I'm telling you how much I love them.
Listen, I mentioned at the top of the shop that rock music now is part of my religion.
Yeah.
And in the Earthship here, we're looking at a mural of 9 of my favourite LPs, and Midnight Oil, bang, it's right there.
And there's the guru. See, now to me, that is the guy, the lead.
Although we sound like we're bloody critiquing the band and the guy, we actually, for me personally, I can't speak for you, but I love the guys. Yeah,
but as they said, as Mark Anthony said, I didn't come to bury Caesar, I came to praise him.